Hi viewers, welcome to my channel. In this lecture, we'll see how to create Azure Databricks workspace. Okay. If you want to log into Azure, you have to type portal.azure.com. So I have already account. I have logged in. You have to search with Databricks. Okay. If you will not find that, you have to search in the search bar. You can see the Azure Databricks. Click on that. So already I have two Azure Databricks workspaces. I will create new one. Okay, create. It will open one form. So we have to fill all that form. So first it will ask pay as you go. Pay as you go. Mine is a paid version. If you have a any other subscription, you can select here in which you want to create Azure Databricks. Bill will generate in subscription level. Okay. So resource group. So already I have many resources group. Many resource groups. I'm selecting RG final. Okay. Workspace name. What name you want to keep for your Azure workspace? I'm keeping Azure Databricks 2023 0603. Okay. 0601. Region, you can select whatever you want. So currently I'm leaving as it is. If you are working for Indian project, you can select South India. Many regions will be there since it is a cloud. Okay, I'm keeping as it is East US. I will select South India. We will see. So here we can see premium, standard, trial versions, pricing tiers for practice purpose only. No, so we'll select a trial premium version. Okay. Next, networking. Networking I will keep as it is. Encryption I will keep as it is. Tags who created all these things you can give here. Okay. Review and create. So validation succeeded. Check whether you given selected all the options properly. Once that is done, and click on create. It will take couple of minutes to deploy. Okay. Deployment completed. You can click here, go to resource. Okay. Now this is the Azure Databricks workspace. If you want to open, okay, you click on launch workspace. These are all the documentations related to Azure documentation, Azure Databricks. If you have any doubts how to work with the notebooks and import data file, all these things can open and see. You can say status is active, resource group, what is the URL of your Azure Databricks. Okay, launch workspace. So it is automatically authenticating with the Azure Active Directory. This is the one of the feature developed by Microsoft and added by Microsoft to the existing Databricks. Okay. So this is the workspace. You can see all the options here. Okay. So basically, as we discussed earlier, this is the workspace where we can create all our notebooks, code, everything, folders, everything we will create in a workspace. Okay. Next, repos we will use to uh, deploy our notebooks to the Git or DevOps. Okay, we will create a repos. It will be easy if you use repos to sync the notebooks and all the code at a time. Okay, we'll see when in separate video how to use repos and all. Okay, in DevOps process. And next we'll see data. Data is an option where you can upload some files to the Databricks file system. Okay, Azure Databricks will have file system like DBFS, okay, Databricks file system to store the any temporary files, okay, or files which are needed for your project. So if you click on data, okay, you can see here add. You can see here add option. By default, Databricks will have metastore, Hive metastore. Okay. In Databricks, we can create schema also. Okay. Schema or database we can create. In that, we can maintain tables also. Like database, how we will create the databases inside tables. In the same way, in Databricks also, we can create databases and tables. Okay. To create the database, it should have, this is a Spark framework, right? So if you want to give some Databricks features or SQL support, we need some metastore, right? So Spark Databricks also will use Hive metastore. In the previous videos, I have created playlist regarding Hive, and you can watch that. Hive is a database in a big data, that is Hadoop. So Hive will use MySQL as a MySQL syntax as a MySQL metastore. Same MySQL functionality, that commands, everything will work as it is in Hive. Similarly, in Spark SQL also, in Databricks SQL also, Hive metastore we will use to maintain the schema. Okay, currently we don't have any tables, that's why we have not created anything. So here you can see if any databases are there, tables are there in the Databricks. If you want to upload some file to the Databricks file system, Azure Databricks file system, you click on add. So you add data. Like see, you can see number of options here. Okay. See, upload data. All these things you can see here. From various servers we can see. Various sources you can upload. If you want to upload from your local, you click on this upload data, and you can select your folder and it will upload. Okay. These are options. If we select MySQL, okay, it is asking for a JDBC connectivity. Directly JDBC MySQL details if you give, it will create a table in a whatever the schema you are giving, what is the table name. Okay, directly it is ready-made template it is giving. Okay. Load data from MySQL to Delta Lake. Okay. This is the direct option it is giving. This is the connection. This is the JDBC connection. Okay. So these are the about data. Next, compute. Compute means here we can create clusters. Okay. So there are different types of clusters. All-purpose clusters, job compute, pools, policies. Policies newly it's added. Okay. Generally, we'll prefer all-purpose compute. Using all-purpose compute, we can create the clusters. Again, we can run the all the jobs. Okay. Job compute means for particular job you want to create cluster. That time you can go for a job compute. Once that the job started, it will execute, and once job completed, that cluster automatically terminates. That is nothing but the job clusters. Pools is nothing but, for example, you have scheduled this database notebook from Azure Data Factory. Okay, comes to the Azure Databricks notebook, to execute that notebook from a ADF activity, it will take 5 minutes to spin up that cluster without pulls. Then it will job will run. Okay. So for example, if you have scheduled that job to run at 12 a.m. exactly, job will start running 12 hours 5 minutes, because 5 minutes it will take to start the cluster. So that's why we will use the pools. Already, if you want to keep how many nodes in that cluster we create as a pool, that pool will assign to the notebooks instead of a cluster. Then what is the advantage means we can reduce that cluster start time, okay, and it will save cost also, okay. For every time when job running, it will start and it will terminate again, it will start and it will terminate, right? If you create a pool ready-madely, it will available. It will take only 1 minute to start the job, okay. That's why we will use pools in a real time. We can make separate video on that with the examples. Currently, normally we will go for all-purpose compute, nothing but a general purpose. So how to create clusters? Create cluster name automatically given a single node cluster. So runtime we can select a latest one. Okay. So earlier in Hadoop, how we used to select in Hadoop using build tools, Marvel SBT or two build tools, using that whatever Spark version, Scala version, Spark SQL version, all that we used to download. But here ready-madely Databricks, they provided the Databricks runtime environment. Directly you have to select which Spark version you need, which Scala version you need. Recommended is the latest one, it is also fine. Okay. So this is for two types of Databricks runtime versions here. One is a standard, one is a ML. Standard is for data engineering. These are all, if you select this one, these are all data engineering runtime versions. For data science, for machine learning, then separately we have another runtime environment, that is ML. If you see here, standard and ML. ML, if you click, their runtime environment is different, because machine learning we need high capacity and GPU, more GPU. Okay, so that's why this, if you select ML, you can see different runtime environment. Okay, GPU extra added. Okay, ML stands for a machine learning. Okay, for our course is a data engineering only, right? So we'll select data standard and this one, and how many nodes you want, all these things. You can create. I need two worker nodes. Maximum two I am giving. So worker type, many clusters data nodes are there. Many types of data nodes. So standard general purpose HDD, general purpose delta cache accelerated, memory optimized, delta cache, storage optimized, compute optimized, GPU accelerated. GPU accelerated, if you select ML, then only you can see this option. Now it is disabled, right? So the separate video I will make on this, which type of data nodes we need to select. So usually real time also you want to save some cost. Performance is not a matter for you. Just uh, cluster you want to create, a small data is there. Then you go for standard D3V2. Okay, this is the minimum 40 GNP 4 cores. So minimum worker nodes maximum. Maximum you can give, if you select enable auto scaling, automatically it will scale the uh, worker nodes when the job runs. Okay, terminate after 120. So you can reduce this one, because why to, so if you are not using cluster more than, okay, I will keep 60 minutes. More than 60 minutes if you are not using, automatically it will terminate. Okay, so this is the okay, cluster creation. I am creating cluster. It will take couple of minutes. Okay. Meanwhile, we can discuss other feature, that is workflows. Workflows, using workflows, you can schedule your Azure Databricks notebooks. Here itself, you can create a pipelines. Usually in Azure Data Engineering, we will create the business logic in Databricks notebooks, and that notebooks will be executed from the Azure Data Factory Databricks activity. Okay, instead of that, we have workflows here. Okay, directly notebooks we can schedule as a scheduling tool. How we will schedule in Airflow, same way we can schedule. We can create workflows, and if you click on that workflows, so it will ask for job. So no jobs found, create job it will ask. Okay, you can select that job cluster or task name, you can use notebook task. So if you want to execute some SQL script, we have SQL, Python script, okay, jar file, sparse submit, all these things you can select. Okay, then path of the notebook it will ask what is the cluster. So if you create and it will ask for the date and all. Okay, date and all to schedule. Okay, like that we can see workflows later. I will create one demo on that. So this is the let it create this power cluster is running. It will take a couple of minutes. Once this is done, actually how to create notebooks, click on workspace. You can go to that. Already we have created this one, right? I will delete this one. Move to trash. Okay. So you can see my email ID. Here you can see create notebooks, libraries, folders, everything you can do. First I will create folders. I will keep whatever name I want. So notebooks. In that you can create notebooks. Okay, create notebook. Like folder wise, you can maintain folders based on your project number of folders you want. Then you create a notebook. Okay, create notebook. So by default, the timestamp will come here. You can give sample notebook, sample notebook, and I will give the print. Welcome to ADB. Okay, say cluster is running. Okay, you'll see. So ADB supports 4 languages. By default, Python is selected. If you want to change, you can change it to okay some other language also. By default, Python. Next, it will support SQL, Scala, R. Four languages it will support Python, SQL, Scala, R. If you want to become a data engineer, either one you should be comfortable. Okay, now cluster is ready. You can see green mark here. Run cell. Okay, allow. Okay, it is created. Like that, we can create Azure Databricks. So real time how? So from the sources, we want to extract and upload the data to Azure Cloud. We'll use Azure Data Factory, and we'll keep all the data in Azure Data Lake. Okay, that data if you want to apply business analytics, you can load that data into Azure Databricks, and you can perform your business logic. Then dump to the target like Azure SQL Synapse or Data Lake. We will see some other topics in the next video. Thanks for watching.